1350, what we know as the idyllic French countryside was a living hell. For more than 15 years, the people had suffered at the hands of English invaders. Little did they know that this war would last for another 100 years. But through this crucible of fighting, famine and plague, there would emerge the modern nation of France. England's King, Edward III, looked jealously across the English Channel. Wanting France for his own, he had added the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of France, to his own royal standard. This was an all-out declaration of war. And in 1337, he invaded. But France already had a king, Philippe VI. As the English burned their way across the land, Philippe's army and his legendary knights marched to meet them and came face to face with the English longbow. A simple weapon, but the most devastating the knights had ever faced. The heroes of France fell to storms of English arrows. The war engulfed the French countryside. By 1351, the conflict was focused on Brittany. One fight stands out as a spectacular display of chivalry and a symbol of the wider conflict between the two enemy nations. The Combat of the 30 is still commemorated here in Brittany. It was a dispute between two local families. Supported by the opposing sides in the war, the French and English commanders decided to settle it through a trial of knightly combat. Each side would choose 30 champions to fight on neutral ground. France prepared to defend itself against England's finest. Intent on ending the suffering of the French peasantry, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir sent a challenge to the English commander. 30 champions on each side would compete in a tournament for final claim to Brittany. With the battleground of the Halfway Oak agreed upon, Sir Jean set out to gather support from local knights. As a knight himself, Sir Jean followed the strict rules of chivalry and was expected to protect the local peasantry and ensure peace.
Donnez-moi, je suis votre serveuse. Mon arway mène avec moi. Voir, Giride. Mon destrière y mène. Je ris dans vos volets. Honneur est... Bien savez. Avant, compagnon.
Most medieval tournaments were friendly in nature, held for sport and glory, but the Combat of the 30 was arranged between opponents mired in war. English raids had torn through the countryside of Brittany and brought great hardship to the people.
Quand je commande, avant.
Sir Jean spotted an English raiding party attacking a nearby farmstead.
Place, veci commandement.
Sie kommen, was wollt ihr? Asseyez vos armes! Nous allons! Nous sommes prêts! Alors, l'ennemi est à voir! Chevalier, reste-moi à pied! Service und Ordnance!
The French knights defeated the English raiders, and Sir Guy de Rochefort joined Sir Jean's party.
Votre jetzt vos ab. Incontinent. Avant, compagnon. Apertisez votre courage, compagnon. Si comme vos voldrez.
Sir Jean's search next brought him to Sir Geoffroy Dubois, whose squires were contending with a detachment of English longbowmen.
Je commande, avant. Voyez,
Mettons nos en la...
The knights would use the great speed of their war horses to charge the archers and overwhelm them.
à l'assaut, chevalier.
The English longbowmen fell, but the French knights knew the enemy would attempt to retake the hilltop fortification and steeled themselves for further attacks.
De l'ennemi. Alors, l'ennemi est à voir. Incontinent. Adjustments, boss. Nos allons. Donnez nuevos affiches pour votre service. Avant. Obéir, c'est vertu. Chevalier. Adjustments, vos always. Avant. Ennemis de l'archive. Si comme vos voldrez. Oh non, est-ce d'obéir? À l'assaut, chevalier, asseyez vos armes. Nous allons. Qu'ils soient vaincus et Adjustments, vos always. Avant. Service und Ordnance. Incontinent. Je suis votre serveuse.
With Sir Geoffroy by his side, Sir Jean had secured the outpost.
Votre jetzt vos à moi. Avant, compagnon. Je suis votre serveuse. Pour votre service.
Looking to secure his honor, a young knight held his ground on a bridge in Sir Jean's path.
C'est comme... Nos prenons de tête. Mon destrier y baigne.
Dicte-moi ma besoin.
Honorably conceding defeat in the duel, Sir Yves Charel joined the cause.
Pied ci, un pied là. Vets vos donc, en l'avouer. Reniez vos armes et comprens. Reniez vos armes. Vectons nos en l'avouer.
Sir Jean entered the staging area for the tournament, where he prepared to choose which knights would join him in battle. Each knight would be accompanied by his squires, young nobles in training to become knights themselves. Sir Jean had selected his champions. As the sun rose, the two sides entered the arena, ready for the first round of combat.
En l'avouer. Comme vos plaisent. Oyez.
Claiming an easy victory in the first round, the French champions left the arena to recover their strength.
Bien savets quoque nos advienne. Un pied ci, un pied là. Vets vos donc.
Refreshed and reinvigorated, the French knights returned to the arena for another round of combat. The combat of the 30 was about to decide which nation would control the Duchy of Brittany. Triumphant, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir and his loyal knights claimed victory. The combat of the 30 had decided control of Brittany in favor of the French. Little did the two sides know, this was just the beginning of a bitter war that would outlive them all.